6 Mataji today.
Yes.
Chapter 6 Priyatama, the most dear devotees. Sri Parikshit said, O noble lady, after hearing these words, Lord Mahavishnu's dear devotee Narada, who holds a veena in his hand, overwhelmed with love, forgetting everything, and like a man possessed, walked on the path to the inner rooms of Lord's palace, a path full of wonders that he had traveled many times before. Sometimes he stumbled, sometimes he fell to the ground, sometimes he stood motionless, sometimes he trembled, sometimes he rolled about, sometimes he cried out, sometimes wept floods of tears, sometimes he sang and danced, sometimes in a single moment he manifested together all the symptoms of the treasure of ecstatic love. Oh, my mother, please be attentive. Please carefully hear something that makes me become stern with love. On that day, as Lord Krishna morosely slept in his bedroom, Sriman Uddhava left his side and came to the doorway. Then Baladev, Devaki, Rohini, Rukmini, the other queens headed by Satyabhama, Kamsa's gossiping mother Padmavati, the servants, and many others became silent, and with wonder they gazed at Narada, who was acting in a way never seen before.
Yeah, Mataji.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, yeah, thank you, ma'am. You know, these descriptions of these pure devotees, Narada, and especially when it comes from the lotus mouth of this pure devotee, Sanatana Goswami, it has such a magnificent impact on our chitta, on our consciousness, which we will not be able to get on our own. No matter what we try, however, how much ever we try, whatever we try, this beautiful, actually, this is not just impact. The katha of these pure devotees who are so pure in the heart that the love of Godhead is flowing so much. I still remember Narada Muni. His love for the Godhead is flowing so much that he's seeing the devotees of the Lord, and his love for the devotees has gone so much that he wouldn't sit on the chair in front of them. So he was trying to sit on the ground in the assembly of Yadus. So such pure-heartedness, and so when we hear about this love of Godhead, it is not, as it may sound, it's not just on Godhead, because Godhead is just not only there. He's everywhere and everybody is his. So these devotees, and the happiness and the relishment they have, in that mood is so wonderful. So love of Godhead is not really exclusive, it is all inclusive. All inclusive. And how much happiness is there that he was not able to, as Sanatana Goswami was so nicely describing, sometimes walking, sometimes falling, sometimes crying, sometimes this and sometimes that, and sometimes all together. Even if he's just going to repeat the same thing, the whole book, that Narada was sometimes falling, sometimes crying, sometimes shouting, sometimes whatever. Even if he says the same thing again, what it does, this kind of katha, when it is coming from this pure-hearted souls like Sanatana Goswami, about these pure devotees with the love of Godhead, this is called something out of this world. Whatever comes from us, from me, because I'm conditioned, it would be from this. There will be a mix of from this world. But when it comes from those pure-hearted souls, there is no other way we can get this. And the effect of this is, it, the consciousness blossoms. Heart becomes lighter. Consciousness blossoms. And whatever they are describing, then it will all slowly come into us. There is no other way of this getting into us. Whatever they have in the heart, there is no other way of that getting into us other than in this way, when we hear, when they speak. So yeah, Mataji, thank you. And yes, dear devotees, somebody else can please take it.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Pranams.
Rising, they made him wash his face, brought him to his natural condition. Slowly and softly they said, "O Brahmana, we have never seen anything like this. What has suddenly happened to you? Please sit quietly for a moment." Sri Parikshit said, going down, trembling and his bodily hairs erect, with great effort he opened his eyes, flooded with tears, and with a voice choked with emotion said, Sri Narada said, "Please bring me to supremely fortunate Uddhava. The dust of his feet will bring peace to my heart." No devotee, either in ancient times or today, has attained the great mercy of the Lord he has attained. He is the greatest of devotees. The Lord himself has described his glories. His ancient and recent sons, headed by Brahma, his brothers, headed by Balaram, his friends, headed by Shiva, his wives, headed by the goddess of fortune, and even his own transcendental form, are not as dear to the Lord as Uddhava is. The Lord himself has said this. The Lord's words since ancient times show the great glory of Uddhava's good fortune. Today, the extraordinary wonders of this mercy were sung by the best of the Yadus. Passing through the door of my ears and entering my heart, that description has now plundered all the wealth of my peaceful composure. Sri Parikshit said, bewildered. Uddhava at once stood up, placed Narad's feet on his chest, embraced them, understood what was in Narad's heart, remembered the great souls who had attained the Lord's great mercy and was overcome with tears. With a great struggle, regaining his peacefulness, happy with transcendental envy, he said to Narad Muni, Sriman Uddhava said, O all-knowing one, O best of the truthful, O best of the great sages, O Lord, because you are the first teacher of the path of devotional service to the Lord, what you say is certainly true. I'll pause here, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My pranams to you, Mataji. My pranams to all the devotees. All that you have said and more is true of me. I know this and others also know. Recently, I went to Raja and saw something that ground into dust my pride in my own great good fortune. There I could understand that wonderful sweetness of Lord Krishna, His mercy, His love, and His devotees. By seeing them, I became very fortunate and attained all the Lord's mercy. Thinking that I had attained the Lord's great mercy, I became flooded with bliss. Singing about them again and again, I yearned to become their follower. Everyone knew. I cannot say more, O best of sages. I bow before you again and again. With plaintive words, I beg you, don't be so eager to hear of this. Sri Parikshit said, understanding the meaning of what Uddhava said, Rohini, who have stayed for a long time in Gokula, was dearly loved by the people there, tearfully said. Sri Rohini said, O servant of Lord Hari, I am happy. I have not I have not a moment's worry. Please don't place on the path of my memory they whom misfortune has destroyed, who have not the slightest scent of good fortune, who are plunged in an ocean of sorrows, who are poisoned, who were set aflame by a host of burning volcanoes. When Maharaj Vasudeva took me to Madura, Yashoda cried so bitterly her tears broke what is harder than thunderbolts. On his mouth, who can place the news of the other women there, who were like the living dead? When your master returned from his guru's home, I, being a fool, briefly and sadly told him their story. His heart was not softened, for he did not return, but in his stead sent you an eloquent speaker of messages. Why then do you say that your master has given his best mercy to them? Hare Krishna Mataji, maybe
Yes.
devotee can
Yes.
continue.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my prayers to you and my prayers to every devotees. When Krishna was in Vraja, from demons beginning with the Putana and ending with the Kesi, from demigods beginning with Varuna and Indra, from a serpent and other creatures, from the breaking of the old cart and the Arjuna trees, what calamity did not attack Vraja before my own eyes? Still, the people there were not troubled. Text 27. It was as if they had become enchanted. They always wished for Krishna's welfare and they never considered their own.
Isn't that so beautiful?
Mm.
So many calamities came in Vraja, all of them like life-threatening calamities, and they were thinking about Krishna, if Krishna was safe or not. Calamities were there in Vraja too, but their thought and focus was so much on Krishna. And what was that, Mataji? They were not disturbed. Something. Can we go back, please? Yeah. What is it? Yeah, demon beginning with Buddha. Still, the people there were not troubled. Mm. Yeah, they were not troubled by any of the demons because they were killed. They were killed. They were not troubled. And the next one was their. It was as if they had become enchanted. So they were not troubled. this is something. Those were life-threatening. Life-threatening. They were really life-threatening attempts by the demons, and two words were used here. One is, of course, they are not troubled because Krishna was there to kill, but they had become enchanted. Enchanted, really, by the life-threatening situations there. Enchanted. And they always wished for Krishna's welfare, and they never considered their own. So every bit of that, how wonderfully Sanatana Goswami presented that. The consciousness of the devotees in Braja, how they saw those calamities. He says, the Mahajana says they were enchanted. And of course, they were not troubled, and their wish continued to be Krishna's welfare. And they did not really think of theirs. That was, oh, yeah, thank you. Mataji, please continue.
Everything they did was for Krishna's happiness, done out of love. Before text 29, before your master did not do anything for their welfare, how can I describe what he does now that his goals are fulfilled? Next 30, Sri Parikshit said, hearing this, wicked Kamsa's arrogance and senile mother, shaking her head, said, Sri Padmavati said, alas, from childhood Krishna protected in a forest of bumbles, the cow of this merciless cowherd. Hare Krishna. Somebody else can get chance to. Hare Krishna. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my pranams to you.
Prabhu.
They never gave him even shoes. When tortured by hunger, he drank a little milk. The woman tied him up. Let them cry. Krishna suffered so much in the course of time. What must he do for them now?
And these are all the words of Padmavati. Padmavati is, please remind me, dear devotees, is she the mother of Kamsa or something? You know?
Yes, Mataji. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
that's how
Mataji.
it said. Yes.
Yeah. And this is, this is how she's seeing the love of Rajavaris to Krishna, that they did not give him anything to drink and they tied him up. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Deeply intelligent Rohini, who was very dear to Raj, ignored her words and chose to glorify the people of Braj. Sri Rohini said, Krishna went to the Yadu's capital, Mathura, killed his enemies, and then became the happy king of kings of kings. Your master, to whom the defeated demigods bow down, in his heart does not remember them.
What was it, Prabhu? Okay. What? This. Your master.
Master, to whom the defeated demigods bow down, in his heart does not remember them.
Yes.
Sri Parikshit said, unable to tolerate these words, Krishna's beloved Queen Rukmini, who always stays in his heart, said, Sri Rukmini said, O mother, how without understanding how his art is softer than fresh butter, can you speak in this way? All of you, please hear what I have heard. When he sleeps at night, sometimes he sweetly and lovingly calls many cows by name, and sometimes he calls his charming Gopa friends. Sometimes his transcendental form bends in 3 places, and he pretends to place the flute to his mouth. Sometimes he says, Mother, give me some fresh butter. Sometimes he calls to me, Sri Radha, Lalita. Sometimes he says, Chandravali, why? And tugs at my garment. Sometimes, as he sleeps, he softens the pillow with many tears. Hare Krishna Mataji. Pause.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we can pause here today. But Bhagavan, this is so good to hear that Bhagavan really thinks of his devotees so much that he sleep talks, sleep talks and them, sleep calls them. Bhagavan sheds tears for his devotees. Bhagavan, the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so misunderstood. So misunderstood, Bhagavan. Yeah. Yes, dear devotees, anything from any one of you, please, before we pause? That you liked something from today's reading.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my pranams to you, Mataji. I was just wondering, maybe silly way of thinking, that Lord Krishna cries for his pure devotees. He misses them. Does he think about us who are?
Yeah. This is why Bhagavan Thakurji is so misunderstood. If he doesn't think about us, we would not even sustain.
Yes.
हम लोग
Yeah.
silly. Thakurji is so misunderstood. He does. Mataji. Actually, when you are asking like this, somehow, that question, Mother Rohini, somebody, they just said, yeah, Rukmini Devi. She quickly wanted to mention, when Padmavati was saying, no, he's like that. But that's a very, very good question, Mataji. आपने, otherwise how would we sustain? हम लोग के बारे में भी सोचना है ना. But the thing is, he does it very specifically, in a very personal way, through the pure devotees. He does it very personally, in a very personal way. So yes, pure devotees are like his hands. There's no difference between Krishna's hands and the pure devotees, which are like Krishna's hands. नहीं तो whatever has happened to us, ठाकुर जी हम लोग के बारे में नहीं सोचते तो wow, how would all this happen to us time and again ना? तो है ना? You think he's thinking about us?
I knew it, but I wanted to hear it, Mataji. Yeah.
True. Anything? Yeah. Yes. That's इसमें बात ही अलग होता है when we hear about him. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hari. Yeah, devotees. Anything else? Otherwise, we can pause here. Yeah. ठीक है then. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.